You guys are a joy. I am so blessed to be able to rub shoulders with you. This is gonna sound narcissistic, it is not. I'm humbled by the fact that this started in this room 13 years ago because I wanted to give back to the community, because this is where I was raised. Every day for me is a blessing, but this, I'm telling you, what we're doing here, it is such a blessing to work with people that love community and want to help businesses and grow and such. And the type of people that you are, I plan to do this till I drop dead, because every day's a vacation. It's not work for me. I get tired, but it's not. Anyway, enough said. I'm just saying, you can have that same experience because you get into part of business what you put into it. And there's a lot to put in right now. Thank you.
I actually met Elizabeth at our last Heart of Business Bash, and I thought that she had a lot of valuable information. So today, even though we talked about social media, last week, maybe the week before, right? I really thought that what we kind of, what a lot of us are concerned about as far as marketing, social media, that sort of thing, Elizabeth seemed to have a really clear view of what's going on. I know that we have a lot of different, marketers, financial advisors, insurance people come in and stuff like that, right? And a lot of people sometimes say different things, we get conflicting information, or people make statements, but they don't actually have anything to back it up, right? I felt like when Elizabeth was making her, 2-minute just pitch or just an infomercial, right? I really felt like that she had a lot of clarity around some of the obstacles that we have. I'm gonna let Elizabeth take over here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just get behind you.
Awesome. So hello everybody, my name is Elizabeth Wolfe. I own Maudie's Digital Marketing. I am just a social media specialist. So anything that you have heard about social media, I am here to probably tell you that it's really not true, okay? So I understand social media inside out. I actually got my marketing degree back in 2018. I started working for an e-commerce company and they did all of the marketing, right? So traditional marketing as far as TV, magazines, brochures, all of that stuff. Well then, they wanted to start going into social media marketing, right? And so all of the training and everything that I had, I got on the backside of social media and I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing back here, right? So I had to seek out more training and more certifications, and then eventually that company, what they ended up doing, we were so successful in the marketing that we were doing through social media, through paid ads, was they took their entire marketing budget and put it into social media. And within 2 years, $200,000 ad spend equaled $2 million in sales. It wasn't ever I realized in 2020, like, wow, I'm pretty good at what I do. Maybe I should, maybe start a side hustle. And they said, no, you either work for us or you have your own business. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I work for you guys. And then, what really ended up happening was God kind of led me into a different place, and I started my own business. And with my first year coming up in June, and we have worked with 32 different clients. I've got 22 local clients. I've got clients that are all over the nation, and I have worldwide clients. Okay, and we have helped get our clients with a combined revenue of over 7 figures within that first year. So essentially, my business brings in about $25,000 a month, and the ROI that we're putting out every month is over $200,000 for all of our clients put together. Okay. And the reason why is because this works. I don't focus on SEO, I don't focus on Google, I don't focus on any of that, because essentially Facebook and Instagram work, okay? They have a higher conversion rate, which I'm gonna talk about right here, is actually on my thing, but let's talk about this. I know a lot of people are into TikTok. Google works, but guess what Google works for? Google works for people that already have a need, right? So I have a hole in my roof, I need to find a roofer, right? But Google does not work to actually get people to convert without putting ideas in their head. So basically, I talk people into spending their money whenever they don't know that they need to spend their money, right? That's what social media is good at, okay? So if we look at all of these different conversion rates, Facebook has an average of 9.4 conversion rate through paid ads. That is phenomenal, okay? I don't know how many of you, I'm so full of analytics and data and numbers. That's, because I'm in marketing. This is absolutely phenomenal, okay? Whenever we're talking, and that goes with Instagram too, since they are essentially the same business. Do you want to know what TikTok has? Anybody got a guess?
11.
No.
2.
Close. 1.1.
Oh.
TikTok is proven to be an engagement. Where is that? Engagement. People are not on TikTok to spend money. Whoops. People are not on TikTok to spend money. They are there to escape reality. They're there to scroll through their phone. The audience, and especially for people like me, my clientele, I focus on advertising to people that are in their 50s. Because although I may have clients that are in their 30s and I may have clients that are in their 40s, the majority of my clients are in their 50s. So why would I put any of my ad spend towards 30s and 40s whenever 65% of my clients are, in their 50s, right?
Is that because they have more disposable income?
I think that they've been in business for a little while, but they also, there's like I said, there's these really big misconceptions with social media, especially with people that grew up with social media. They think that they know it inside and out and that they don't need social media marketing. And so, sometimes people will put so much time and effort into marketing. The first thing that I do whenever I come on with a client is I audit their audience and I audit their account. Are they running their account as an entertainment account, or are they running it as a business account? Because a lot of people that they'll call me and they'll say, I've got 6,000 followers and I don't know why, but I don't have any sales. Well, for one, if you're not putting into paid advertising, you can look at this right here, this little chart. If we're looking at business growth through social media, this big part right here is through advertising. This tiny part right here is through social media posting and things like that. Why? Because only 5 to 10% of your followers are seeing your posts, and the majority of those are the people that interact with you all of the time. So you're not even actually reaching people outside of those people that already are interacting with you, and most likely those people are already your clients, they're your family, or they're your friends. So that is why we audit, first off, their audience. Okay, so if I'm working with a B2B, like my own business, if you have a bunch of followers that are on your account that are your friends and family and people that don't own a business, we're literally wasting our time with this social media management. Because the people that are seeing your posts, the people that are interacting with you, don't even own a business, they're your friend, they're your child, they're your mom, they're your dad. And we have wasted our 5 to 10% of followers that are seeing our content. How do you get a bigger reach with your social media management? Well, you really need to focus on putting out relevant content, right? So basically what happens is, whenever you make a post, the Facebook algorithm, the Instagram algorithm, it grades your post. What is it graded on? Does anybody know?
We should know.
Number of clicks.
Likability.
Whether it's
No.
a video.
No. So the first thing that it grades it on is how much engagement from your top followers, okay? That's the first thing that it grades it on. The second thing that it grades it on is the image, okay? Do you have just a picture, or have you added more than 25% text on your post? So I know that people like these still post, and they'll create things in Canva that have a lot of text on it, and that's what they'll post on their social media. Guess what? You just went down 70%. You're not relevant with the algorithm right now because you are not putting things that are relevant on social media. People don't like still posts. They don't, if you have more than 25% text, you're going down 70% in your rating, okay? So, what else? After engagement, after your image.
Text in the image is what you're saying.
Yes, in the image, text it, yes. So yeah, and the next one is copy. So, and we're talking about a computer here, right? So we're talking about the algorithm, and it automatically reads what your copy is, right? So we're gonna go back right over here to your call to action. This doesn't work very well.
We use a lot of markers in here.
Yeah. So your CTA, how relevant is it to your business category? Yep. So again, that's why I said, whenever up here, whenever I audit accounts, I gotta look back, not only at their audience, but how are they running their business account? Are they pushing for sales? Do they have a call to action to go to their website? Do they have a call to action to pick up the phone and call? Do they have any call to action that has to do with business? Or is this all about, oh, look at this funny meme, look at my dog, look at my family, which is fine sometimes, but the majority of your content, and again, we're talking about this little tiny piece of pie right here, right? Because basically, going over down here to the customer journey, what happens is people come to your page, and this is funny too, because you can look at all this stuff through the analytics, right? So if you go and look at your analytics right now, if you're going to start running advertisements, look at how many people have visited your Facebook page in the last 60 days, okay? And then check that again after you start advertising. This number will go up tremendously. I'm sure that right now it's probably under 100, and a lot of those are probably you, just FYI. And so after 60 days, this number, depending on how much money you're putting into your advertising, will be in the thousands, okay? So basically the customer journey, what happens is people, they see an ad, and of course we're talking about, does everybody know what the marketing funnel looks like? Okay, good, because you need to be posting by this. You need to be identifying your audience. At the
I don't
very
know what
top.
that looks like.
Yeah.
No, me neither.
Yeah, what is the
You
marketing
don't know what
funnel?
marketing funnel
I know what
is,
a
okay.
funnel looks like, I think
Okay.
that was the answer.
Okay. This is the marketing funnel. Basically, right here at the top is people that have come into the awareness of you, that they've never heard about you before, okay? This is how businesses grow. Right here is consideration in the middle. And then down here is our call to action to actually spend money. Okay, so that's conversion. What happens is businesses, even people that are in the marketing industry, which really blows my mind, because they're, people will call me and they'll say, Facebook marketing doesn't work. I don't even know how you're in business. Marketing, it doesn't work on Facebook. I've run ads, I've boosted posts. Do not boost posts. Literally what you're paying for is engagement. So you're literally paying for people that engage with your page. Again, I already went over how most of those people are your friends, family, people that have already, and so basically Facebook builds this audience. It doesn't matter if you think that you're building the audience based on these likes, things like that. You're paying for engagement. You're not paying for people to pick up the phone and call you and use your business, right?
I thought boosting a post was running an ad.
No, boosting a post is you're paying for engagement. It is a paid ad.
Yeah.
It absolutely is a paid ad, but what you're paying for is engagement. You're not paying for conversions, okay?
Yeah.
So basically, this right here being this marketing funnel, whenever you're posting, you need to identify that your audience is, right? So these people at the very top, they've never heard of you before. If they have, it's very minimal. Right here in the middle is where you identify all of their problems that are going to make them convert with you. So you need to put these ideas into people's heads, okay? So people don't even know that they have the problems that they have, okay? And so whenever you have good messaging, whenever you have good copy behind what you do, which you guys should all know what messaging works, and that's what, sometimes I sit down with clients and they have no idea. They have no idea who their ideal audience is because they base it upon themselves and what they want, not based upon the analytics of the monthly data that's coming in from their sales, So they think, well, I base my business on this and this and this. Well, literally in marketing, you need to take yourself out of the equation. We're not talking about you, we're talking about the needs of your clients. We're talking about the needs of the people that you are wanting to get in touch with, okay? So that's why this middle funnel right here is so important, okay? And down here, some people use, And I really suggest to people that you don't really run a lot of specials, really diminishing your value. What ends up happening, and I'm sure with everybody being in business in here, we've probably all experienced it, what you end up attracting is cheap people. They don't end up becoming long-term clients that have a high lifetime value.
Spend a lot of your time.
Yes, yes, and I can tell you, I spend a lot of time creating audiences, things like that. So I always tell people, do not diminish your value, because whenever you let it be known that this is how much you are, this is how much you cost, and these are the reasons why, and you're comfortable in yourself, you will attract people that are willing to pay that. Whenever you are devaluing yourself and saying, we'll give you this for half off. Well, if you're putting an ad out like that, it better be false information. Okay, because you need to be getting you're not growing your business by giving people discounts. Okay.
on identifying your audience, can you take a look at your own analytics? Like for us,
Yes.
by far, the largest audience, women between 30 and 50.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's in that equation for identifying your
Yes,
audience.
yes, and I actually will get down to that down here, because kind of what happens after you start running paid ads is, you really need to. So basically, what makes me different is that I can look at all of. I can also audit your past ads, and I can tell you, what is not, whether it be your image, whether it be your copy, whether it be your audience, as to why your conversion rate is not working, so that's kind of my specialty in what I do, along with all of this other stuff. But basically, after, what it's gonna look like, of course, after you start running paid ads, is month one is gonna be like, wow, crazy, like thousands and thousands of, engagement and this and that. And then month two is gonna go down a little bit, because, you kind of like, it looks kind of like this, and it kind of evens out, right? Unless you're putting more money into your ad spend budget. But basically, what we look at in those analytics is, okay, so who's engaging versus who is converting, right? So, and we can do that with pixels and retargeting and, all of that good stuff. Essentially, whenever we're walking people through this customer journey. So for me, whenever, and I guess I should say that, actually my first 3 paid clients, paying clients, whenever I went into business, I got from Facebook marketing. Like I was doing advertisements. I held because I had to identify my own customer journey. So that's something that's really, really important. That's what's gonna help you guys over here through this funnel. Because this does not always look like this, okay? And by the way, only 2% of consumers will come into the awareness of something and spend money right away. So that's why it's really important that we walk people through this funnel, which is also the customer journey, which sometimes looks like this, okay? A lot of the times that's really what it looks like, is that people will go into the consideration. That's why the rule of 7 is super, super important, because you need to be consistent with your marketing. You need to be constantly showing up, and you need to be offering that valuable content, identifying their problems for your particular audience, right? So that's why, it might be like, oh, I'm on my way down because I've got that problem, but oh, I'm still not convinced that I can afford this, or that I'm gonna get a return on my investment, like whatever it may be. And then all of a sudden, look, they're on their way back up right here. And then I identify this major problem, and they're picking up the phone, they're calling, and I've got a pretty good, if I meet with people face to face, and explain to them, because I can look at all of their stuff within 20 minutes and tell them exactly where, what needs to be changed, whether it's, that they're running their account like this or whatever else. But I've got a really, really high contract rate after I get people face to face, okay?
Can you explain the rule of 7 a little bit more?
Yes, so the rule of 7 means, let's think about brands or corporations like Pepsi, Doritos, Coca-Cola. What do all those brands have in common? They are continuously everywhere. We've all had a Mountain Dew, we've all had a Pepsi, we've all had Doritos, right? But guess what? They still put billions of dollars into their marketing. Why? Because they know that consistently showing up and showing up to somebody 7 times is really what makes them go and convert. So that's why down here I have one of the mistakes that people make is whenever they're posting to their audience, they're thinking, well, I've got 1,000 followers, so 1,000 people are seeing my event that's happening tonight, and well, no, only about 5 people saw it. That's why nobody's showing up to your events. And you need to be posting about this event. I start posting about events about 2 weeks prior, and then I'll post about it every single day at different times. Because really what happens is, because again, the very first thing that happens, right, is what? It goes in front of the people that are engaging with you. So if you're posting at 12, 3, 6, and 9 throughout the day, then most likely these are different people that are seeing your events if you don't want to put into paid advertising. However, I'm going to jump back up here to this part, is that in paid advertising, that's Facebook and Instagram are businesses. Like back in before 2014, you could get away with advertising on Facebook and Instagram by just posting. Not anymore. It's literally an investment. They're saying to you, if you want to grow your business with us, the chances of you growing organically are below 1%, okay? So that's really, I cannot stand whenever I hear people talking about, just grow your business organically and don't put in any paid marketing. You know what else? Facebook and Instagram are also the cheapest way to advertise your business, on top of the very, very high conversion rate, right? So, so whenever, and again, don't post your posts because you're paying for engagement, but if you build the correct audiences, and if you build the correct, because you need to run ads like this too, you need to walk people through. So basically, you're retargeting people that had some kind of action up here. Whether these people, went to your website, or they engaged with your post, or your ad, whatever it may be, you're retargeting them. And then same thing right here, And you can retarget events that you've had. So any events that you've had, you can create audiences based upon those events of who said that they were going to come, whether they showed up or not. Because clearly if they said that they were, interested in coming, then they fall into your ideal audience. So you can build all sorts of different audiences on the backside of Meta that are very, very warm audiences, based upon, their engagement, their interaction and things that they're doing with your business.
Explain that. Meta confuses me, because when I'm doing events, sometimes it wants to push me into Meta. Should I be in Meta to begin with an event? What is Meta?
Meta is basically Facebook and Instagram are a part of Meta's brand.
Okay.
It's their parent company.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. So yes, Facebook and Instagram are the same business. However, one thing, the one thing with Instagram is that it's just easy to post on. You won't find, I'm not very active on Instagram other than, like the things that we're posting automatically go on there. Why? Again, because my audience that I'm looking for is essentially over 40, mostly over 50, and they're not on Instagram. Guess where they are? They're on Facebook. So if you have an audience, if your ideal client is in their 20s, then I would be on Instagram more than I was on Facebook, because it's like it kind of looks like this. Facebook is the most more people use Facebook than any other platform. However, the majority of those people are 30 plus. Okay, so Instagram is below that. Okay, and then the next mostly used platform is YouTube. And YouTube actually has the second highest conversion rate underneath Facebook and Instagram ads.
What do you think of Pinterest?
Pinterest? I don't know what I think of Pinterest.
She doesn't think much
Yeah,
about it.
I don't, yeah.
Is
Do you like
that
quilting?
a good conversion platform?
I think depending on what your business is, I think that if you are very artistic in what you are posting on Pinterest, that it can be a good conversion for people. However, I also think that Pinterest kind of falls into the line with Google. People go there and they know what they're looking for. It's not necessarily something that people go scrolling on and then run into things that they end up spending money on, right? And so this is one thing too, is that you can walk people through this customer journey. The reason why this little piece of pie right here in social media management is important is because, again, people are coming to your Facebook page, then they're looking at the content that you've put out. Why are people doing that? Because there's so many scams nowadays, right, that people want to make sure that the business that they're dealing with is actually a legitimate business. That, that it's actually here in their area, things like that. So that kind of works out in our favor whenever we're talking about marketing and advertising on Facebook to grow our business, because they're going to our page, and that is why it is so important to have relevant content for it to be the first 3 to 5 posts that they see. Because whenever, and essentially, and I really know that people really don't like this, but people that don't know anything about you or your business, I'm sorry, but they don't care about how long you and your husband or wife have been married. They don't care about how many kids you have. They don't care about your dog. Yeah, I know, it's sad. It's really, really sad. Listen, however, people that do spend money with you and have built a client-customer relationship, they do care about that stuff. They do want to support where they're spending their money, things like that, okay? But however, we always go with what all of the data and analytics that are behind the customer journey. So again, your customer journey is different than everybody else's. You can literally have the same exact business as somebody else. So, well, let's just say 2 roofers, right? So one of them, and their marketing strategy is going to look different than this one. Why? Because they have 2 different ideal clients. One of them may not be able to close with the younger generation. They might be able to close deals and put out estimates that the older generation always takes. And this other guy, he might be really, really good at talking to people that are in their 30s. So that client journey looks totally different because again, we're gonna spend our money on advertising focused on the people that spend the most money with us, right? So you can't even take the strategy from a business that is identical to yours and use it for your business because you're a different person. You know, like things just look different. And so that's it for like literally every business across the board. Every single customer journey looks different. It doesn't matter if you're the same or not. However, so why do we do Facebook management if it's just this little piece of the pie, right? Well, it's really, really interesting that I used to offer just advertising in our business. You're in charge of the, posting on your page, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well guess what? People that did not post on their page literally had 45% less sales. Why? What happens? They go to your page, you have not made a post since 2020, and they're thinking that you forgot to turn off your ads and you're not even in business anymore. You have lost them. People have a very, very short attention span, okay? So that is why, again, your content that is on your page needs to be engaging. You need to, everything that you put out should have value, okay? As far as, your business and what you have to offer. That's why it's super important that you run your business account as a business account and not an entertainment account. If you are focused on likes, comments, and shares, then you are not running a business account. Because again, those people that are like, commenting, sharing have already spent money with you. We focus on business growth. Okay, people that first come to your page before they go to your website, before they pick up the phone and call you, guess what? They look at your page and they don't engage with anything. Okay, so if that's what you're focused on is how can I get the most likes, you are not growing your business. That is why people call me all the time with thousands of followers. It doesn't work. I can't get any of these people to convert. Nobody buys from me. This and that, all that stuff, which is just not true. It's because they're not running their social media account as a business account. They are not running their account as a way to grow revenue. They're more concerned about engagement and boosting posts and getting all those likes and all that stuff. I just know from all of my experience that all of these businesses that you see that have hundreds of likes, guess what? They got 0 sales from all of those. It's true. It is true. I meet with business owners about 3 times a week. And
question on that?
Yep.
So is that a failure to call to action, would you say, in that post? Because where it didn't drive them enough?
I would say that it
likes,
actually...
Likes obviously means that people are liking it, but then there must not have been something moving them to... Right,
so I would actually say that that's up here with who they built their audience on.
Okay.
I would say that they probably built their entire audience on engagement and not people that purchase,
Gotcha.
So there is those 2 demographics of people in the social media world. There's the people that it's kind of like TikTok. They're literally there just to escape. They're not there to spend money. And whenever we audit somebody's business and their audience, and based upon those things, is that, well, I can tell you right now that if your ideal client is in their 50s and the majority of your followers are in their 20s, you have done a very bad job of growing your business. And now, although you may, people think, well, they come to my page and I've got all these followers, and guess what? People don't care. People that are about to spend money literally do not care about the number of followers that you have, okay? Let me go back to whenever I first started my business.
Question on that, then, would it be that they're not niching down enough or being polarizing enough in a way to, because basically you want to shake your 20-year-old followers off if you're focusing on 50-year-olds.
Right.
So then you need to say stuff that makes the 20-year-old be like, oh, this is not for me,
Yes.
I'm out.
Yes.
And then that way you know that so is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes.
Would that need to
Yes.
happen?
And stop being focused on that engagement.
Okay.
And be more focused on that conversions. That would be, like call to actions that, go to my website, set up a call with me right now.
Email list, kind of
Yes,
thing.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes.
What do you feel about videos?
Videos, what do I feel about them? I feel like you've got 3 seconds for it to be super important in order to keep people's attention to watch them. Reels are one of the best ways to have any organic reach outside of paid advertising. However, with that, whenever you're posting reels, you still don't have any power over your audience of who is seeing those reels, right? So it's just basically going to whoever outside of your already followers versus paid advertising. Really, and what I would do if I was working on, and I have worked with clients like this that, one of them had like 16,000 followers, and they were literally all there for engagement. They were there to, share the memes on their page, things like that. None of them had really, like jobs that paid more than, just like they could barely live, so they really didn't have any money to spend. What I would do is I would actually focus the paid advertising on building an audience that actually met the criteria for that. So I would actually put into page likes and things like that, because usually if you're running your ads correctly, you can usually get page likes for less than 10 cents based upon whatever industry you're advertising in. So each industry has different costs. They should have different click-through rates, things like that, because it depends on how many people in your area that are in your business that are actually advertising on Facebook. If you don't have any competition in your area, then you can get ads for super duper cheap. Videos are the best way to start up here at the top of the funnel. Why? Because you can get video views for literally 0.002 cents per video view, and you can target who is seeing your video. So for me, go ahead.
I'm sorry, how long should those videos be?
I would say no longer than 1 minute. So I would get everything into being at the top of funnel. You got to remember that you're talking to people that don't have any relationship with you, and so they don't yet like have that opinion of you to like, oh, they put out good content, I'm gonna watch this, So you've got that first 3 seconds to catch their attention, and then you can look at the analytics on the backside, and you can see who did they watch it for longer than 3 seconds? How many people watched it for longer than 3 seconds? And how many 1 minute video views did I get? And so so then you can basically. And down here, that's what we do. It's like, because if you know anything about marketing, it's a lot of data, it's a lot of testing to figure out what works. And after you've got it figured out to what works for your business, I know based upon my own advertising and what I can do on social media is that it takes me about $600 to get a paying client, okay? That sounds like a lot of money, right? But it's not. Whenever my customer client value, their lifetime value, as of right now, as of 1 year of being in business, is $14,600. Okay, so and that's it, and that's just based off of only 1 year of being in business. I have a lot of clients that recontract, things like that. So whenever I'm talking about an investment, this of course looks different for everybody as well. I have a lot of competition. I have a lot of competition on Facebook. My ads are super expensive. However, the fact that I can get people to convert with me, I'm going to go back to whenever I first started advertising. Basically what I did was I set up a live Q&A for business owners to join me on Zoom and to talk about these misconceptions of social media marketing not working, things like that. I talked about all the things maybe a little bit different than this. I kind of focused on the results that I can bring versus the why behind the what, because at the end of the day, whenever people are looking to hire a marketer, I'm going to tell you, they don't care about any of this. They're like, I don't care about conversion rates, I don't care about this. Like, basically, what I care about at the end of 6 months is how much money I've paid you and paid into advertising versus how much money did I make, right? That's really what the information that they care about. All of this stuff is like, you handle all of that. I don't care about any of this. You sound really smart, but it doesn't mean nothing to me, right? Kind of like you said, people go into business because they're good at something, right? People often don't go into business and have education behind them in business or marketing. So I often have to talk people into this investment into their business. If we're really looking for business growth and we're talking about marketing, again, let's go and just look at every single small business that turned into a large corporation. They all put 10% of their revenue back into marketing because that's how you grow businesses. What happens whenever you stop marketing? What happens whenever you stop posting on social media? What happens whenever you stop your paid advertising and you stop marketing?
Your competition gets it.
Well, no. I'm not talking about the business themselves, but their competition that is marketing. And you know what? It is not a steady decline. It does not look like it. It's literally look like this. People, and I'm gonna tell you what, it takes a lot of consistency because marketing is not magic. It is consistency, it is psychology, it is being repetitive in your messaging. Don't be afraid to, oh, I said this last week. No. Essentially, whenever people are following a business page, guess why they're following you? Because they're interested in your business, right? As long as you're running your account as a business account, not an entertainment account, okay? If you're sharing lots of funny memes and stuff like that, well, Now they're following you so that they can share your stuff and get laughs out of their friends, right? However, whenever we get up to the, to this momentum, right? So we build that through consistency in the algorithm. And then you reach this point where, guess what? Your piggy bank is full. You are now relevant to where this over here, all of this grading system, it doesn't matter anymore. You can put out content that's still getting attraction because the algorithm finds, for one, you're consistent in what you're putting out. So now all of a sudden everything doesn't have to have so much value, although you still need to have value in what you're doing if you're gonna keep that going. So, and at this point is whenever people have a high ROI. Because whenever the piggy bank is full within the algorithm, you're super relevant, then Facebook says, well, it doesn't matter what the competition is doing because you make sales, you have a great audience, and you are consistent on our platform. So we're going to reward you with that to where now, like this number for me may have used to be 800, right? So now it's 600, okay?
Quick question is, how does Facebook know if you can get a sale?
So we would do that through pixels. So that would be through advertising and stuff, So basically, so a conversion sometimes is somebody sending a message and setting up setting up an estimate, setting up a meeting, things like that.
You mean through Messenger?
Yeah.
But if you don't want to utilize Messenger, then you're moving them off onto your own email list, then.
Okay, so if you're moving them to your email list, okay, so I would have it set up to where your pixel was on your website and that was where they were signing up for your email. Because then you can track all of that, and that's whenever Facebook knows.
I don't know what Pixel is.
Yes, it's a basically it's a piece of code. Yeah, it's a piece of code that that Facebook will generate just for you and your business, and then you would add it on the backside of your website. Nobody would see it, but it would be there, and then it would start tracking things.
For analytics.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. And then what happens whenever you stop all this marketing, and then now all of a sudden you're way back down here, okay, and we've crashed and we've burned, and then 2 months later, business owners call and they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I thought that we were doing so well that we didn't need to market anymore. And I will say, I told you that this was going to happen. And that, people go from, they literally go from summer numbers in wintertime to, oh, it's spring now, we don't need marketing anymore. And then they literally crash and burn. And then guess what? I'm not taking on your project again. Because it took us a long time, me and my team, it took us a long time to get you here to where you were getting a return on your investment. And now that you have crashed and burned, yep, it's literally twice as much work, and I'm just not willing to do it. Like paying twice as much money. And so that's it. And if you don't want to pay for marketing anymore, then you need to take it on yourself, or you need to hire somebody to do it within your own business if you don't want to contract out. It is literally so important. Even with my own page, I got so busy at one point to where I was like, oh, I'm not going to focus on my own social media. This is before I hired people to help, right? I'm only going to focus on my clients, and and guess what? The phone stopped ringing. Nobody was setting up meetings with me anymore. Every single time, and I've done it twice. And I've done it twice, and no more. So.
Did you charge yourself more each time you did it?
Right. Yeah. So really. So. Basically, if you're really wanting to grow your business, I really suggest that you just look at marketing like it's an investment in your business, because whenever, and a good way to find that out is, figuring out what your own client customer lifetime value is. I actually just posted about this on my own social media, so you can actually go and find that that whole formula on my social media page. It should be the first, the last live that I did. And in the comments, I put the how to figure that out.
Is that your CTA for us?
How do we find your social media page?
Oh, yeah, it's Maudie's, Maudies, digital marketing. I would, if I was you, I would go on there, and I would watch a lot of the lives that I do. It is just really valuable information for people to be able to do their own marketing. I know that not everybody is in a position to where they can pay somebody to do their marketing, and they need to figure out how to do it on their own until they get to the point where they can pay somebody to do it. So that's why I offer that information.
That's the question I have. If there's a lot of us, right, we're talking, small business owners, that sort of thing. You know, maybe a person doesn't have $600 or $2,000, right, to
Right.
be able to spend on marketing. If they were gonna do this with like $100 or $25, is there even real value there to start with a small amount like that? Or are you just kind of throwing your money to the wind because you're not putting in enough and you
Right.
don't have?
So again, that's where this would come in. There is businesses that can get away with literally putting $1 a day into their marketing. Those are businesses that sell products that, you know, cost like $12. You know, and so basically, whenever you find out what your you know, your customer, your client's lifetime value is, and then you got to say, you know, so if mine is 14,600, I got to say, what am I willing to do to get that, right? So, am I willing to give up coffee at Life every morning? Am I willing to, basically, I've always said this, even before I own my own business, there's nothing that I can't afford. There's just things that I don't value enough to put the extra time into getting, right? And so, do I value this enough to take the sacrifice of, you know, half of my mortgage payment to get another client, so that then I can, you know, that client itself in 1 month, you know, pays my mortgage payment and, you know, other stuff too. And so that's what I mean, is that, you know, to look at it like it's an investment. So if we're talking about a number like this, you know, to be just frank, you know, honest, $100 a month isn't gonna get me anywhere, you know? Especially because in my industry, it's really expensive to do this marketing, you know, is because there's a lot of other marketers that are on social media. And so I'm gonna be at the very bottom of the totem pole. You know, like, so I'm not gonna be able to get, I'm not even gonna be able to get good. I really suggest to every business owner that if you're gonna start, that the very minimum that you should start with is $300 a month in your own advertising. Yeah.
Quick question, is that based off of just handing it over to you and you do posting, or do you require like a list of content production from the business owner per month in order for you to have something to work with? Or how do you tend to work with that?
What does a client look like?
Well,
more like-
would come from the.
Yeah, because I know like my field, what I've done is I'm in medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and very few marketers know how to do medicine stuff.
Mhm.
And so the content really has to come from me, because I found is that the engagement patients are like kind of stuff that doesn't quite click comes out of marketing people. Because I've hired, you know, $2,000 a month type marketing stuff
Mhm.
before, things like that, and basically I had to delete most of the posts because they were not relevant,
Right.
and they're probably a 25-year-old marketing
Right,
person.
and so basically, probably what
Yeah.
they probably use AI to create their
This is before
content and
AI.
stuff. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I don't, no, this is before AI. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, so basically, like, so what we do is,
It was like maybe 6 years ago.
right, so what we would do with you is, we would come and we would set up like basically, I would ask you, I sit down with every single client, whenever we first contract, we talk about all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like we talk about what is your ideal client, who are the people that spend the most money with you, you know, sometimes people will be like, well, I have clients that are, you know, in their 20s all the way up to their 60s, I'm gonna say, okay, let's break that down, who's spending the most money with you? You know, because we're not going to waste our advertising spend on, you know, that huge of range whenever, you know, even if it's 40% is, you know, 50, that's still the majority, you know, and so that's where we're gonna focus our money on. And next year, guess what, 80% of your clients are gonna be in their 50s, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, then we would sit down and we would, you know, based upon the information that you gave me, we would kind of build out like, and with you, we would do a lot of videos. And so we would sit down to where, you know, it's like, okay, so now we're gonna record this, and we would record a lot of different stuff. And then we would make videos on it, and then we would put that out. And then the still post that we made would be kind of that call to action to go and look at that last video that you put out, you know, things like that. And we would use that $300, we would use that as in the videos would be the 3 going up here. And again, videos are super duper cheap. You know, so you can have videos running for $1 a day. And still get results. However, you still need to remember that you need to walk people through this, because only 2% of people are going to watch those videos and convert. And to get to that 2%, it may be a long time. That's just the average, you know. So I'm not sure with your industry what that would look like, but right here in the middle, you know, needs to be, you know, that's really, really important. Just the ones on the top, and the one on the bottom is not so much important, because most of the time people to be completely honest, people will, they'll walk right through here, and then by that time, they're ready to jump right into spending money. You know, like if you have really identified, you know, kind of like you said, I love what you said, that if you don't have life insurance, you literally put it on the community. You know, and then how many of us have donated to a GoFundMe account and it's literally never enough, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, and so whenever you said that, like, you know, I was like, wow, that, you know, that was a good message. You're totally putting it on the community if you don't have life insurance, you know?
Yeah.
And so, so that kind of messaging, whatever messaging works, and you guys would all know, what is it that you know, there's gotta be one thing that you say to somebody that makes people convert, you know, that like, it's like just that one thing that you said and they're like, oh wow, you're right, you know? It may not be the same for every single person, but you've all got those things that you maybe just need to think about, and that's the messaging that you should start with using, you know?
I want to say this. This is pretty good information.
It's a lot.
I have never in this room seen that whiteboard used that much. You get an A+ for the whiteboard.
Can you believe I've only known her for 36 hours?
Right.
So here's the thing, 3 years ago, a lot of this would have been relevant, but Facebook has changed their algorithms over and over. 3 years ago, I could put out, our highest post was 1,200 shares. Okay, I didn't spend any money on it, and it reached 80,000 people.
Right.
Okay, today, that same post might get 50.
Right. Right.
This is how important this is.
Right.
It's changed.
Yes, like the entire world is literally changing, and the thing is too, you know, is that it's like, you know, speaking of AI and things like that, you know, and like just how important it is that, you know, I'll just emphasize to everybody how important it is that we all use cash, you know, like with being with business owners, things like that, because essentially it's really not a conspiracy theory that like they are literally trying to make us dumb, you know, like
Yes.
with all of this short attention span, things like that, and it's literally working, you know, like, I mean, I deal with it, psychology in marketing and things like that all the time. I'm gonna tell you that you used to have 30 seconds. You used to have 30 seconds in your video to capture somebody's attention before they would swipe on. We now have 3, okay? So like, just think about that. That 4 years ago, you had 30 seconds, you know, and so with all of the technology and everything like that, it's like, you know, it's like utilizing the monster, you know, and that's what, you know, and if you know me, I mean, I do marketing for the Idaho Freedom Fighters. I'm, you know, I'm totally all for small businesses and, you know, keeping everybody in their rights free. However, social media, I will say, is a monster, you know, like, and you can either utilize it to help grow your business and, you know, keep your family fed, or if you don't, you will go out of business. And that's just, that is literally the world that we live in. You know, I talk to business owners all the time that have never done any marketing. They've been in business for 20 years, and guess what? They're on the brink of having to shut down their stores because they're not on social media, they're not doing any marketing. And that is the world that we live in. We are moving towards just a digital lifestyle, and so it's totally true.
So we've got a couple minutes left. Can you speak to content?
Yeah.
What's essential in that?
What's essential in content? So that's gonna look different for every single business, right? So
Well, let me give you a scenario. I would love to have everyone in this room contribute content to our Facebook pages. Okay. How long should they be? And what type of relevance should it be? I don't want it to be a commercial about them, but they could speak to their industry with some helpful hints.
Right, so well, to be completely honest, if we were talking about growing this group for you, I would really utilize the fear of missing out. I would really utilize the, you know, oh my gosh, look at how many people we have here, look at how, you know, great of a time we have, look at all of the, you know, like the benefits that everybody gets from this group. That is really what I would focus on, because that is what's gonna get people here. That's what's gonna get people to join the Heart of Business, is whenever they start seeing everything that they're missing out on and all of the benefits that they're not getting from not being here. Yeah. Basically, I was just gonna say, like, once you start, don't stop. That's, you know, like, really, whether you're doing it yourself, and you know, and I've got no, I mean, you guys can reach out to me at any time. Literally, I am not just in business to like make money off of everybody. I help small business owners all the time. Like one lady, she's a massage therapist, and she, you know, she got a hold of me and she let me know what her situation was. I met her here at Life. I helped her set up her audiences and everything else, and I didn't charge her anything, and she's just like, what? because my heart is to have this area thrive. My heart is to not be, you know, shut down in the middle of, you know, COVID and have to go to spend my money at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know,
She's in here with us now and we're all broke, right?
right.
Don't tell her that.
Segue.
I will edit that part out.
So, let me just share a couple of things, because we're trying to be done in 3 minutes.
Nels, let me just ask one more thing. Best ways for anybody from the group to contact you?
Definitely through Facebook, you know, through Instagram or
Follow
What
our
would I
Facebook.
type into Facebook for the
you would
search?
type in this, Maudie's Digital Marketing.
So it's a QR code, right?
Yeah, right?
Awesome.
Can you draw that code?
Yeah,
out?
just-
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
All right, I'm Lynn from the Hitching Post Wedding Chapel, and where we get to bring people together in matrimony. And it's a lot of fun. Get to do that almost every day of the year. And we also send ministers to go to other locations, ceremonies when you have a big venue, and because ours is little.
Matrimony, that's a scary word. Go ahead.
Matt Lang, Cross Country Insurance, specializing in health and Medicare insurance.
Me? Yeah, okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm John Beebe. I'm currently with Global Credit Union, but soon to be with STCU, Spokane Teachers Credit Union. So I'm excited about that. It's an opportunity to grow my business. And I want to thank Lynn for the Hitching Post, because my parents got married there, let's see, it was like 67 years ago. And if that didn't happen, I probably would be here right now. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome.
And my slogan is 255 loan. So that's how I remember my phone number, 255 loan. Thank you.
I'm Dr. David Campbell with Wild Oak Wellness, do acupuncture, manual therapy, herbal medicine, and generally holistic healing. Yeah, one of the main things I see is, you know, musculoskeletal pain, whether it's neck, low back, knees, hips, shoulders. I help people get their range of motion back and get back to living life with their family and friends.
I'm Michael Christensen. I've been a financial advisor for 23 years, and I can also help you understand precious metals and cryptocurrency stuff too. So if you want to learn some new areas, I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
Lino Grando, hi everyone. No, I authored a few books, and I just like to keep active and involved, so this is a great place to come and get some coffee and hang out and learn some good things, so. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
My name's Nick Hawkins. I'm a business development manager over with Hagedon Media. I work with our commercial print department, so I help any size business, small, medium, large size businesses get the print materials they need, everything from business cards to banners, stickers, you name it. You want any image, text, or logo printed on just about anything, I can figure out a way to make it happen.
Hey guys, I am Sean with Creative Tech Integrations. We are a technology integration company. What that means is we take technology and help integrate it into your life. We do things like TVs, speaker systems, Wi-Fi systems, surveillance cameras, cabling, and more. We sell it, install it, and become your personal assistant in making technology easier to use. We work both in commercial and residential. With over 30 years in the business, I have been working for clients since I was 15 years old and delivered my first Mitsubishi big screen. And what we said then is what we say now: how can I be helpful? Sean with Creative Tech.
Crystal with CLR Bookkeeping and Beyond. I offer a full range of bookkeeping services that I customize for each individual small business, and I also do for personal as well. Most people get into small business because they love what they do, and I love math, so this is what I do. So let me do what I love so you can do what you love.
All right, I am Matthew Yelm with Promised Land Technologies. Do you use Excel and hate it? Because I want to help you get your data into better, more professional software that you can actually use and maintain and integrate into other things that you need instead of just using Excel.
I'm Angie Sonor. I'm with Safe Harbor Anti-Human Trafficking. Our goal is to house, rehabilitate, and reintegrate trafficking survivors back into the community.
My name is April Howard with North Idaho Events, and I put on community events that offer value, entertainment, or education.
Just a little bit of plug for April, guys. If you don't follow April on social media, you definitely should. No, seriously, because you put so many events out there on social media that I would have no idea about if I hadn't seen them from following you. So I would really recommend, like, if you're a person who networks, right, if you go to events, if you are gonna have a booth at all this summer or anything, you should definitely, follow April, get a hold of her or anything, because she does a lot of events.
Thank you.
All right, so yeah, most of you guys know who I am, Cody Huckins, New York Life financial advisor, but also, specializing in insurance protection needs as well. If you're a business owner, if you're a parent, you basically owe it to the community to have life insurance. That way we're not taking care of your business and your kids when you pass away.
Yeah, I'm
You
Joel.
gotta edit
Owen.
that part out.
I'm a naturopathic physician here. I also do acupuncture. I do regenerative restorative medicine. I help men and women feel their best, and kind of hardworking business owners that need to keep up their energy, their brain focus, and all that, get their body back. And I also do joint therapy, so people injure their joints through sports or just getting old, arthritis. I can usually help get that fixed up in a good way that's lasting. So that's part of what I do. So I work here in town.